The key to this suturing task will be loading your needle in the proper way. So you want the mobile part of the needle driver to be facing up. You're going to load the needle just off the needle onto the suture in the direction that the needle is naturally going to be facing once you're suturing. So a word about loading the needle in the proper angle. So the way that's done is once it's in, you're going to grab the needle tip with the left hand. What the right hand can do is it can adjust the needle forward or backward according to the angle that you need. The angle you can determine based on the reflection of the needle with the light. So that's another clue as to where it is. The other part of needle loading is if you want to have the curve of the needle up, it's going to have the hunter follow that curve. So if I start midway, I can then slide and slowly rotate my hand clockwise to follow the curve of that needle. If I try to grab the needle like this, it's not going to want to follow the curve. So my left hand has to be rotated with the jaws like this so that it will naturally follow the curve of that needle and land where I want it to. If I wanted the needle pointing down, for example, I would hold it the opposite like this. So grab the middle of it and slide, and as I slide, I'm going to turn that left hand so that it's counterclockwise, and now the needle's actually facing downwards, as you'll see. Okay. If I want to flip the needle back, grab it near the tip, grab the string again. I can rotate my left hand and then adjust the direction with my right hand here. You want to load the needle about 2/3 of the way back. What you're going to do is you can grab the needle with this hand, pull it through. Next, what you're going to do is a pulling maneuvers with the left hand. So the left hand goes here. I'm going to use that as a pulley. What we don't want to do is just pull straight back and saw through that tissue. So you can use a pulling maneuver here to give you a short tail about that long. And the key to this, tying the knot, is really forming the C-loop properly. You can see a nice C shape on the loop here. The other thing to remember is the direction that that C-loop is going to be coming off the needle driver. So we actually want to give this string a tug towards us so that it's coming off towards us. The other things that we want to do is as we're going to wrap, we're going to rotate the right hand so that that string is coming off towards the 11 o'clock position here. And that makes it easier to wrap. If the string is coming downwards towards the 6 o'clock position we try to wrap, it's going to be much harder. So again, you're going to rotate this hand so that string is coming off at about 11 o'clock. It's much easier to get around the instrument that way. The other thing to remember is when you do your wrap, it's helpful to work right over where the knot's going to end up. So one way to do that is to touch where the knot's going to be and then just elevate a little bit and you're right there. You can wrap more easily that way. A mistake that I see people doing is they sometimes start veering off in other directions, way out here, way over here, way up here. It's important to stay right over the knot and stay centered right there. It's going to be much easier to wrap. So again, nice C-loop. We can give this suture a tug towards us. We're going to work right over the knot, and I'm going to rotate my right hand so that string wants to come out at 11 o'clock. Okay, once we do this, my right hand's going to let go and it's going to choke up, get closer. And we're going to cinch that knot down. Again, maintaining a relatively short tail. Now what I do to form the opposite C-loop is I actually bring this hand up. I grab down here and I bring the suture around the way that I want it. The opposite C-loop. What I need to make sure again is that I tug towards us. Now this time the left hand is going to point, this suture is going to come off at 1 o'clock instead of 11 o'clock, so that if I'm working right above our knot, rotate and it's going to go around that hand very easily. Again, if I try to work with the suture coming from the downward direction, it's not going to really wrap very well. So work right over the knot, and I wrap one instrument around the other, whether it be that the needle driver hand stays static or whether my left hand stays static, and I wrap the needle driver around the string. So pull that through, tie it down. Again, I lift with this hand, grab the suture, and bring it around. This suture has memory, so what you can do if you don't like the formation of your C-loop is you can tug on it and make it the way you want it. Again, you work right over the knot. My right hand rotates so that string is coming out at 11 o'clock, and then I wrap one hand around the other. This form is very important that you get right. If you get the form right, then you can work on speed. You'll be much more efficient doing this than if you have bad form.